Hello, I want to welcome you to the Weekly Grind with Jim Serace. I'm Larry Macon Jr., and I'm so excited to continue the conversation with Jim today. You know, Jim, you talk a lot about what you believe to be the greatness in people. You know, some people may not be feeling that way. Can you give us your thoughts on that?
Sure, Larry, and totally understand that. I would imagine a lot of people, they hear about being great, but how do they aspire to be that? And I think it depends perhaps a lot on one's definition or how one defines greatness. And, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be world changing, such as inventing a cure for cancer or perhaps to be the first one who finds a vaccine for the COVID-19. That would be great now. Or, you know, you don't have to be, Captain Scully who landed the airplane in the Hudson River and saved the people on board. And so a lot of times it's just in small things or seemingly what may be small to us. I often say to our people that a sign of greatness is what you do when you don't have to do anything. There was a time some years ago, Larry, that I was visiting a person in a hospital, happened to be a church member. She was elderly and rather sick. And so when I took a break, I was in a cafeteria and I happened to notice her niece that was also in the cafeteria, must have been visiting at a different time than me. And so we kind of struck up a conversation and asking how each other was. And you know, she asked how I was doing, what I was up to and all that. And I tend to get involved in a lot of different leadership things and philanthropy and different organizations and all that. And as I was describing what I was currently doing, you know, she kind of stopped me and she said, you know, I really wish that I would have the time to do the things that you're doing. But as it stands, Jim, I don't know if you know this, but the person, you know, that my aunt actually is living with me and I take care of her and it's like a 24/7 thing. So I just don't have the time to do the kinds of things that I want to do. And, you know, I responded to that. And, you know, what I told her was, I said, look, to me, in God's eyes, is that obedience to your purpose and what you're called to do is all equal. I mean, you could be Billy Graham and speak to literally millions, or you could be just called to take care of your sick aunt.
Wow.
And I feel that, you know, those things in his eyes are equal.
Wow.
And, you know, it's funny, but I have a t-shirt. One of my guys got me a t-shirt that says right on the front in big letters, it says, famous enough.
Wow.
When I wear that t-shirt, people got to think like, you know, what's this dude all about, right?
Yeah.
And so although it says that on the front, on the side of it, it says, rather be known by God than known by men.
Wow.
So many people look for affirmation in the horizontal of the world, you know, what other people think. And they tend to derive their self-image from such. To me, there's only one opinion that counts, and that's his. You know, a couple of weeks ago, in cooperation with Channel 3, Larry, you know, we did a nurse segment where we were able to bless a couple deserving nurses. And Channel 3 asked me to do a short video just to, you know, speak to the nurse and bless that nurse. And in one of the videos, I mentioned a story, a biblical story about a time that Jesus was hanging out with his disciples. And the disciples were talking amongst themselves, and they're actually talking about who was the greatest amongst them.
Mm-hmm.
So Jesus kind of overheard that bravado, and this is what he said. He said, I tell you the truth, the one who would be greatest would be the one who would serve the rest.
Wow.
And so, you know, my thought is this.
Uh-huh.
If you do what you're called to do in the moment and you serve others, truly that's a sign of greatness. And if you could live in that, you know, today and the rest of your life, truly at the end of your days, they'll call you great.
I like that. That's what greatness is all about, Jim. I really appreciate that knowledge and insight to say that greatness is relative. and we can be great in our own special way. So I want to thank you again. The conversation is going to continue next week. And so to all of our viewers, for more inspiration, I want you to visit youtube.com/The Weekly Grind with Jim Surace. We're here to help you, to motivate you. We want to hear from you. Send us your questions, comments, and your suggestions. And also email us at jimweeklygrind@gmail.com. Thanks, Jim, again for being on the segment. And we want to say take care to everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Larry.